Hi, welcome back to the third session of Principles of Economics of BBA, first semester, Bangalore University. In this session, we are going to deal with scope and subject matter of economics. Scope refers to the boundary lines of the subject. What are the topics or concepts which are going to be studied in the subject of economics? What are coming inside the purview of economics? What are not? The scope of economics may be studied under different sections. Recap. In the previous session, we discussed about scarcity definition and growth oriented definition. Scarcity definition was given by Lionel Robbins in 1932. Growth oriented definition developed by P. A. Samuelson, Keynes, Benham, and others. Objectives of this session: to give conceptual clarity on various concepts of economics, origin and growth of economics, how that subject of economics has originated, how it developed from time to time. It deals with the basic economics principles. Those help to understand the process of decision making by individuals. Basic economic principles which help us in understanding the process of decision making in the real world. How certain basic economic principles are going to help us in formulating certain policies like monetary policy, fiscal policy, and decision making by individuals, society, government, etc. Learning outcome. Learner can understand different concepts of economics and can apply the same in the real day-to-day economic activities. After studying this session, you will come to know about how basic economic concepts can be, how basic economics concepts can be applied in our day-to-day life and day-to-day economic activities. Introduction. The scope of a subject means the extent of a particular subject. Scope means the boundary lines. What are going to be studied in a subject? Scope of a subject deals with the various topics and concepts which are going to be studied in the course of the study of the subject. So in economics, what we are going to deal with, what we are going to study. Scope broadly explains the basic aspects, topics, theories, principles which are going to be studied in the course of study of economics. Scope of economics may be studied under 5 sessions. Subject matter of economics, whether economics is a science or an art, whether economics is a pure science or applied science, whether economics is a positive science or normative science, and the nature of the subject of economics. By studying this scope of the subject, you will come to know about the basic nature of the subject of economics. After studying the scope of economics, you will come to know about the subject matter and certain basic issues like is it a science or an art? If it is science, what type of science is economics? Is it pure science or applied science? Is it positive science or normative science? Like that. So, what is the basic quest of the study of economics? The basic quest of the study of economics is wants, efforts, and satisfaction. It said that human beings are a bundle of wants. We have unlimited desires, but unfortunately, to fulfill these, to satisfy these unlimited wants, we have limited resources. We need resources to satisfy human wants. How to get resources? Resources may be obtained by going for efforts, by rendering services. So wants followed by efforts. Efforts to earn income. Efforts to mobilize resources. Then using that resources for the satisfaction of want. That is satisfaction. So wants, effort, satisfaction constitute the subject matter of economics. If you don't have any want, then there is no need for any efforts. Then there is no need for satisfaction. But it's impossible to see an individual who is not having any want. Rather, human beings are bundle of desires. When one want is satisfied, simply another want pops up. That is why we say human beings are bundle of wants. Now, when one want appears, we guide our efforts in mobilizing funds, earning income. We use that income and satisfy that want. Immediately another want pops up. To satisfy that want, again we need resources. Again we need resources. That is why we direct our efforts. We guide our efforts in that direction. Then we earn resources. We use that resource for the satisfaction of that want. Then comes the third want. So it's an endless process. It's a continuous process where we engage in one or other form of economic activities to mobilize funds, to mobilize resources, to earn income in order to satisfy our unlimited wants. That is why the entire subject of economics is considered as the subject which rotates, which clusters around these three pillars: wants, efforts, and satisfaction. The entire subject matter of economics, according to classical economics, are studied under six heads. Classical economists divided the subject of economics under six heads, whereas modern economists redivided the subject matter of economics under two heads: microeconomics and macroeconomics. But according to classical economics, these are the six different broad areas of the study of economics. Consumption. As we discussed earlier, consumption means destruction of utility for the sake of satisfaction of human want. So how to consume commodity, how to use services in order to satisfy our want. So various theories related to consumer behavior, such as law of diminishing marginality, consumer surplus, law of demand, all those things are coming under this first session, that is consumption or consumer behavior. In the second session, we are going to we are going to deal with various laws and principles which govern the production. Production means utility creation or utility addition. We use factors of production such as land, labor, capital, and organization in order to increase utility contained in the commodity. Basically, there are four different types of utility creation. Form utility, where we change the physical appearance of the commodity. We change the physical form, and thereby we create utility. Place utility, by changing the place of availability, we create utility. We add utility to the commodity. By changing the time of availability, that's called time utility. Then fourth one is service utility. So these are the different ways of creating utility or adding utility in the existing commodity. Remember that the purpose of this utility creation or utility addition is to satisfy human want. The third section deals with exchange of goods and services. When you're having certain commodities in surplus and in need of some other commodity, we go for that exchange. So here exchange refers to all types of trading activities, sale and purchase, buying and selling. So exchange of goods and services, maybe with the help of money or without help of money, without using money. Earlier we had that barter system where commodities are exchanged directly for commodities. Today we are living in a world where we call modern economies monetary economies, where money plays a predominant role. In such a money economy, money facilitates all types of trading activities. So internal trade, international trade, theories, principles, all those things are coming under that third section, exchange. Fourth section deals with the distribution. Distribution means not distribution of goods and services, but distribution of income. How that income generated is going to be distributed. Production is made possible with four factors: for their assistance or help, for their contribution in the creation of output, creation of utility, they have to be rewarded. Land has contributed its fertility, labor has contributed its efforts, capital has contributed its productivity, organization has contributed its service. So for this rendering service, they have to be rewarded properly. So distribution means distribution of national income among four factors. That is why that national income is also called national dividend. National dividend. So distribution means distribution of national income. Fifth part deals with public finance. Public finance deals with financial transactions of the government, money raising and money spending activities of the government. Government, as a representative of all, need to render certain services to people, is required to provide certain benefits to people. In order to promote welfare of the community, government renders certain services. To render these services, government is in need of funds. So raising funds, mobilizing funds, spending these resources for the satisfaction of human want is the concept of that public finance. And lastly, economic planning. Economic planning means nothing but resource allocation. When the resources are scarce in relation to demand and have alternative uses, you have to prioritize your resources. So economic planning is that branch of economics which deals with solving the problem of scarcity of resources and helping in allocating resources. Planning is required in order to guide the economic activities in a pre-planned manner, well-defined manner. So this is about subject matter. Coming to next question, whether economics is a science or an art. So what is a science? What is an art? Where do you want to accommodate economics? Where do you want to fix economics? According to classical economics like Adam Smith, Senior, Mill, Ricardo, and others, economics is a pure science. Economics is a science. David Ricardo made economics as an abstract science. Ricardo made economics as an abstract science. He considered economics just like other pure sciences. So what is a science? Science is a systematized body of knowledge. It contains certain aspects of a particular branch of universe. Its a phenomena should be amenable to measurements. So pure sciences like mathematics, physics, mathematics, chemistry, they're all pure sciences because these tendencies can be measured exactly and precisely. For example, weight of a commodity can be measured exactly. length of a commodity, physical appearance, mass, all these things can be measured and expressed precisely. That is why it is pure science. Chemistry is a pure science. Chemical characters of matters can be defined and expressed in a precise manner. So whether your economics is a science just like your physics, chemistry, etc., etc. No, we cannot consider economics as a pure science because economics deals with human behavior. Economics deals with human behavior. But human behavior, human tendency, or economic aspects can be measured using the measuring rod of money. For example, your economic well-being, your income. Your income can be measured in terms of money. Precisely you can express. Satisfaction. You can compare the satisfaction obtained from a roti as well as an idli. You can compare. So to that extent, economics is a science because we use certain aspects, we use certain standards, media, to measure economic behavior. Cost, for example, cost of producing a commodity, cost of producing a laptop, profit, income, output, all these things can be measured precisely. So to that extent, economics is a science. But at the same time, economics is not a pure science. There are people who argued economics as an art. Economics of European continent, Germany, India, they argued that economics is an art. According to Keynes, economics is an art which deals with a system of rules for the attainment of a given end. An art is a system of rules for the attainment of a given end. For example, a drawing, it is an art. You can follow your own methods. You can use your own medium. It need not be say you can't say that you have to do like this. No. Each artist can apply his own mind, can apply his own principles in materializing the things. So that is why it's an art. For example, if I give a task to you, draw a picture of a crow, draw a picture of a dog, right? You can draw that art according to your estimation, your imagination, your preference. So each will be unique and separate. If I give this task to 10 people, 10 people will draw that picture of dog in 10 different manners. And each one is unique and individual. That is why it's called an art. Art is also defined as a collection of or body rules for the execution of external works. So where do you want to accommodate economics? Economics is both a science as well as an art. At certain juncture, it appears as a science. For example, cost can be measured precisely. Total production can be measured precisely. Income can be measured precisely. That is what is a science. It represents as a science. It appears as a science. But at the same time, it's an art. How to apply economic policies. How to eradicate poverty. There may be different solutions for that one. Each policy maker can use his mindset, his approach to solve the problem of poverty. Each policy maker can design different policy to eradicate the problem of unemployment. So to that extent, it's an art. It is not just designing the policy even at the time of implementation. Even at the time of implementation, each individual can implement same program, same policy in a different manner. It is unique and individualistic. That is why it's an art. So, in conclusion, we can say that economics is both a science as well as an art. Next question comes whether economics is pure science or applied science. A pure science is one which gives theoretical information but no practical guidance to solve problems. Whereas an applied science provides theoretical knowledge and guides us how to solve practical problems. So where do you want to accommodate economics? Remember that economics is both a pure science as well as an applied science. As a pure science, it includes various principles, various policies, models developed by economics. As a pure science, it includes theoretical information. For example, Ricardian theory of rent, Malthusian theory of population, Keynesian theory of employment. They're all different theoretical explanations given by different economists. Remember that they're just theories. They won't guide you. They won't help you. They won't give any information regarding the application. But at the same time, we can also apply certain economic principles into the practical problems. And now it appears as an applied science. It applies as an applied science. It appears as an applied science. For example, we have urban economics. Urban economics, a branch of the study of economics, where we apply theories and principles of economics to solve the practical problems of cities. We have rural economics, again applied branch. We have monetary economics. We have international economics. See, these are all applied branches of the study of economics, where we are applying the basic theories and principles of economics to solve practical problems. So we can conclude that economics is both applied science as well as pure science. Then comes the question whether it is a positive science or normative science. What is a positive science? A positive science studies the things as they are. A positive science just gives the explanation about the things how they appear, what it is. Whereas a normative science goes one step ahead and says not only as what it is, but also what it ought to be. It passes moral comments, judgments on that. That is what is called normative science because it prescribes certain norms. It prescribes certain norms. That is what is called normative science. If the present condition is not conducive, if the present situation is not admissible, then what it to be? What it ought to be? So a normative science explains things not only what it is but what it ought to be. A positive science just studies the things what they are. So what type of science is economics? Positive or normative? Remember that economics is both a positive science as well as a normative science. As a positive science, it explains the things as they appear, what they are. As a normative science, it explains what it ought to be. What it ought to be means moral comments, moral judgment. Now, last part of the topic. What type of science is economics? Economics is a social science because it deals with human behavior in society. How man behaves in society is the concern of economics. It's a social science because it studies human behavior in society. Human interactions, human behavior is going to be studied. How human wants arise, how efforts are organized, how these wants are satisfied is the concern of the subject of economics. As such, economics not only deals with human behavior, in particular, it deals with the economic behavior of man. This is because human behavior in society are of different types and different forms, different kinds. Economics is not going to deal with all the human behaviors. Economics is going to deal with only economic behavior. economic interactions of man. We have other social sciences which are also going to deal with human behavior. We have sociology, we have history, we have ethics, political science, not politics, okay, political science. These are all these subjects which are dealing with human behavior in society. Sociology studies sociology studies social behavior of man. Political science studies political behavior of man. So all these sciences are dealing in one or other form of human behavior. That is why they are grouped under social science. Anthropology, psychology, history, economics, political science, sociology, they're all different branches of social science. Economics is a social science because it deals with the human behavior. So in what way economics and sociology are related? In both the subjects, remember that both the subjects are dealing with the human behavior. Economic studies economic behavior, sociology studies social behavior. That is why they are interrelated. Social behavior may be of economic, maybe political, maybe historical, maybe psychological, whereas economics studies only economic behavior. In, in what way that economics and history are related? In what way economics and history are related? History studies about the past, how different economic organizations or economic activities are organized. Economics gives an interpretation for that. History studies the development of human institutions, how different types of economic institutions, social institutions are originated, how they are developed, and all those things. Economics studies economic interpretation of that. Economics and ethics. Ethics speaks about norms, moral aspects. In what way that economics are related? It prescribes, ethics prescribes certain norms to be followed by others, to be followed by in society. So economics, which deals with activities and economic aspects, certainly needs the guidance of ethics. Wealth must be created in an ethical form. While going for execution of economic activities such as consumption, distribution, we have to keep in mind ethical values. It is highly desirable to have a society with equitable distribution of income, where the gap between rich and poor should be minimum. That is why we need redistribution of wealth, transfer of wealth from rich to poor. Then economics and politics. Political science, it is not politics, my dear friends, it is political science, not politics. How that economics and political science are related. Political science deals with the political behavior of individuals. How political institutions like state, governance, etc. are developed. What type of governance is required? What are the rights and duties? All these things are studied under that political science. Why that economics and political sciences are related? Economic studies about economic behavior. Remember that political science deals with the political behavior. The statecraft, the governance, good governance, all these things are required for promotion of economic welfare. So these social sciences are interrelated and interdependent. They have give and take relationship. Certain tools that economics is going to provide certain tools for the better understanding of the society. Sociology is going to provide certain concepts and tools for the better understanding of economics. Economics and political science, they are interrelated and interdependent. There is a give and take relationship. For the proper understanding of one subject, we need the help and assistance of other subjects. Reference D. Bose and Marimuthu, an introduction to microeconomics, Himalayan publication. Man is a bundle of obviously desires. The subject matter of economics are want, efforts, and satisfaction. Economics is not only a science but also an art. A normative science, normative economics explains what should be. A normative science not only studies what it is but also studies about what it should be, what it ought to be. A social science, all social sciences are not related, interrelated, same substitutes. All social sciences are interrelated. There's a give and take relationship is there. For the better understanding of one subject, we need the basic knowledge of other subjects.